What's up everybody? In today's video we're going to go over Cleanspark's mining update, and we're also going to do a little bit of a comparison of Cleanspark, Mara, and Riot just based on hash rate and market cap. So let's get into this. If you like these videos, consider hitting the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Definitely helps me out. And let's take a look at Cleanspark. Now, I personally think this is a good mining update, but let me know what you think down below. So in Cleanspark's July Bitcoin mining update, they increased their holdings. They actually doubled their holdings to now 1,061 Bitcoin. And we had recent news that they reached a 8.5 exahash. Now they're already at 9. And their production has increased 17% from the month of June. And the CEO, Zach Bradford, says that in less than 1 month, we brought 2.3 exahash per second of capacity online and doubled our Bitcoin holdings. We increased our Bitcoin holdings due to what we see as substantial momentum building across the Bitcoin ecosystem. The move further underscores our commitment to Bitcoin and our critical role in building Bitcoin infrastructure. We entered the Bitcoin mining industry just over 2.5 years ago. It's just crazy how time flies. If you guys remember back when this was a microgrid company, let me know if you're an OG in the comments below. But essentially during all that time, they've increased their hash rate to 9 exahash. This monumental effort demonstrates the experience and grit of our teams. They're the secret sauce, the reason our operations have scaled so successfully. We are now on a journey to nearly double our size to 16 exahash in the next half of the year. So they do have a mention of their 16 exahash target. That's a very good sign. During this time of rapid growth, we will also be turning our attention to filling any gaps and optimizing our fleet to further boost our hash rate and efficiency. And we will get a little more detail in their upcoming earnings call, so stick around for that. But looking over their Bitcoin numbers here, they mined 575 Bitcoin in July, totaling out to the year so far of 4,070. And as they said, they increased their Bitcoin holdings. Now they're holding 1,061. And they only sold 43 Bitcoin. Wall Street might be a little worried with that. They don't probably believe in Bitcoin as much as some of us do, and they don't know how the cycles work completely yet. But to me, this is great timing for them to add to their HODL balance as we get closer to the halving. I think that's a wise decision. It might hurt their upcoming earnings, their July, September, October earnings, not the one that's about to be reported, but this is next earnings. July is included in next earnings. So for revenue, we are off to a bad start there, to be honest. But I do think the strategy will be worthwhile, because it means in future months, when Bitcoin potentially goes up in price, they'll have more of that Bitcoin to sell at a higher price. But they now have a deployed fleet of nearly 90,000 Bitcoin miners, specifically 87,936, and a month-end fleet efficiency of 29 joules per terahash, which is pretty similar to a lot of the other miners from what I understand. Now their operating hash rate for the month was an actual average of 7.6 exahash. And the full value of month-end hash rate is expected to be realized in August monthly update, where they'll be at an average of 9 or higher. Now they did sell those 43 Bitcoin at an average price of 29,300 per Bitcoin. And the sales of that Bitcoin brought them in 1.3 million. Their daily Bitcoin mined averaged 18.6 and reached a high of 21.1. Now, let me know, guys, how you feel about that strategy of holding more Bitcoin than selling. It might hurt them short term, as their next earnings, we may see a decrease in revenue quarter over quarter, but I do think it's a worthwhile strategy. And who knows, in the next couple of months, they could sell quite a bit of Bitcoin and catch up in terms of revenue and get towards 40-50 million in revenue. But it is definitely promising that they've been continuing to increase their exahash. It seems like every couple of weeks we see news of another 0.5 exahash increase, or even 1. Just a couple of weeks ago, they're at a 7.5 exahash. Now they're at a 9. And they did mention that 16 exahash year-end target, so that's a great sign to see. Seems like they're still on track there. But next up, let's do a little quick comparison. So let's take a look at Marathon. Their current operational hash rate is 17.7 and an installed hash rate of 21.8. So they have a little over double the hash rate of Cleanspark. Let's take a look at Riot. They have a current deployed hash rate of 10.7 and they have a mid 2024 hash rate goal of 20.1 exahash. Basically 20 exahash they're expecting by the middle of 2024. Which is something that I think actually Cleanspark could reach somewhere around there by the middle of 2024 if they do reach 16 exahash by the end of this year. Now let's take a look at these companies' market caps. This is where you see the value in Cleanspark in my opinion. So Riot, which actually has an operational hash rate very similar to Cleanspark's, just a little over it. However, that is due to severe weather storm that affected one of their buildings. But looking at their future projections, by mid 2024, they're expecting over 20 exahash. And we're talking about a company with a market cap of $3.2 billion. And Mara, currently mining at double the hash rate of Cleanspark. However, we're looking at right around a little over 4 times the market cap of Cleanspark. So 4 times the valuation. And keep in mind, Mara has quite a large amount of debt. And then we have Cleanspark at a measly $632 million market cap. Just a fraction of the bigger guys, who in reality are only mining barely double what Cleanspark is mining. And in Riot's case, because of the winter storm that they dealt with, you know, they're only mining a bit more than Cleanspark currently. And yet they're at such a larger market cap. They're at just about a 4 or 5 times the market cap. So in no ways am I trying to bash Mara or Riot. I do see them as, you know, a great potential opportunity as well. Maybe even less risk than Cleanspark just because of the fact that they're bigger. And in no way am I saying to avoid Mara or Riot. I believe they're going to do great in the bull run. However, I think Cleanspark has a better risk to reward. While it is slightly higher risk, I do think the reward is much greater. And let's face it, Cleanspark has had some of the fastest hash rate growth during this bear market that we've seen. And they've been just steadily catching up to the bigger miners. And I believe they are going to remain one of the top miners. They're going to be a household name in Bitcoin mining. But next up, let's take a look at the chart. We do have some things to look at. It has been pulling back a bit. Now looking at Cleanspark on the chart, I'm still eyeing this 520 area. This was a previous very strong resistance. We broke out of that and had a very nice run. Now currently and coincidentally, the 50 moving average is sitting right at that 520. I do think we're going to come down and test it. That being said, I think now is a great opportunity to buy on this pullback. I do personally believe the bull market has started. We saw our golden cross back here in May of 2023. We are trading above the EMAs as well as the moving averages here. And despite maybe pulling back to 520, I do see great opportunity even here at 560, even higher than that. And I also think that even the $5 strike cash secured puts would be a great way to acquire some shares if it does get under $5. And if not, you're collecting some easy premium in my opinion. I think that's a pretty limited risk way to go with this. And if you're planning on buying a decent amount of shares, 100 or more, I think a great way to play this is selling options. But definitely look for that 520 level. If we break it, we may pull a bit more. We may test the psychological 5. But just based on the timing of the halving, based on how much Cleanspark has grown their hash rate, based on the fact that they're going to see continually increased revenue, we might even have a record quarter on this quarter they're about to report. Although the next quarter may be a bit weak because they barely sold any Bitcoin, you know, I see it as a great time to continue to buy Cleanspark. And at this point, it's really a matter of being patient. It's very hard to wait, but I think the wait will be worth it. I do think it's a matter of time till we're back in the 7s and much higher. But let me know how you guys feel about this mining update. How do you feel about them adding to their HODL balance rather than, you know, taking advantage of getting as much revenue as possible so these quarters look better and better? And also, how do you feel about earnings coming up? Do you think it's going to rally on earnings? Do you think it's going to pull back on earnings? Do you think earnings is not going to affect the stock much? Thanks again for watching, guys. Stick around if you're interested in any other Bitcoin mining updates. I will probably cover Riot's Bitcoin mining update. And while it might seem like I'm bashing them compared to Cleanspark, I do see great opportunities in those as well, and they may even be a little bit safer, while also offering a little less reward in my opinion, but safer nonetheless. But let me know if you like this video. Thanks as always, guys, and I'll catch you later.